Powered by Riverside FM.
Oh, boy, UP Nation. Oh, boy. I'm telling you right now, if this is accurate, if it turns out to come to fruition, and the Minnesota Vikings have, which now Sharp Football Analysis is calling out the Minnesota Vikings as having the number one front seven in the NFL in the 2025 season, if that is accurate, man, that is the equivalent of Jason Voorhees coming to town for the NFL. Freddie Krueger coming to town for the NFL. Michael Myers, Chucky, coming to town for the NFL. I have told you, I went through this spring unit by unit on the Minnesota Vikings, from the quarterback on to the safety unit. And I talked about these ridiculous takes that the Minnesota Vikings are going to be last in anything, whether it's the division, whether it's the conference, whether it's the whole damn NFL. I've been trying to hit people to this all summer long about how these ridiculous takes that the Minnesota Vikings are going to be trash. Only because the verdict is still out on their quarterback. They changed quarterback. Somehow, some way, that is equivalent to them dropping off the face of the earth. Man, if the Minnesota Vikings front seven is number one in the NFL, bruh, you can KD bar the door for the rest of the NFL. Sharp Football Analysis says the Minnesota Vikings will have the number one front seven in the NFL. I am not surprised when I look at all the pieces. You're talking about additions like Jonathan Allen, Purple Gang, Skull Nation, UP Nation. Jonathan Allen, veteran force, elite against the run. Yeah, I'm going to put him in that category. He's elite against the run. Javon Hargrave, interior pass rush menace. Where do we need to get better? Not necessarily in the pass rush, but the pass rush up the middle. Javon Hargrave gives us that. He's a matchup nightmare for guards. Then you talk about the guy that's been holding down the fort for the last couple of years, man, Harrison Phillips. He's a steady anchor is what I call him. Steady anchor. There's no flash, there's no dash to him, but when you drop the anchor in the water, the boat don't move. That is Harrison Phillips, the guy that does the dirty work. The guy that does the dirty work, man. And then you got Jonathan Greenard, who replaced Danielle Hunter. And let me say this, because I haven't been super clear and I haven't been super articulate about this, UP Nation. You can't necessarily say that Jonathan Greenard is an upgrade from Danielle Hunter, but I think you can say he's a better fit in this scheme than Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter was a complete menace in terms of the pass rush, but he wasn't versatile enough. You're talking about Jonathan Greenard, top 3 in pressures last year, double-digit sack guy in 2024, anchoring the edge rushing spot. Then you got Gink, Andrew Van Ginkel. Do I need to say anything about Gink? Do I need to say anything about Andrew Van Ginkel? Mr. Lineup on the line of scrimmage, drop back, fool the quarterback, screen buster, take away the screen pass, take it for a pick six, Mr. Andrew Van Ginkel. And don't get it twisted. How about my boy, who I think is going to be, and I said it, and I'm going to continue to say it, go back and watch the other videos, my boy Dallas Turner, who is going to be the Swiss Army knife of that front seven. He is going to be the Josh Metellus of that front seven. Quarterbacks are going to come to the line. Where's Dallas Turner? Where is Dallas Turner? Where is Dallas Turner? Blake Cashman, people. Blake Cashman in the middle of that front seven. Remember, There was a time last season when Blake Cashman was on the field. The Minnesota Vikings were undefeated. As soon as Blake Cashman got hurt, when we had that Sunday game versus the Lions, and then we had that Thursday game against the Rams, Blake Cashman missed both of those games. You could see the void in the middle of that defense when we didn't have the guy with the green dot. Blake Cashman getting people lined up to where they were supposed to be and fortifying that defense. Blake Cashman. Then we got our guy, Ivan Pace Jr., who's the Tasmanian Devil. He's the Tasmanian Devil, man, of that front seven. You're talking about a small linebacker that can get downhill and thump, 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 thump. If there was any weakness, it's his ability to be able to drop back in coverage at times. If I had to critique something about Ivan Pace Jr.'s game, it would be that. But his heart doesn't pump Kool-Aid. He's the heart and soul of that defense, man. Big hit ability, and he will improve in coverage. This front seven is going to be absolutely box office. I use that term all the time, but I don't use it lightly. Byron Murphy Jr., Isaiah Rodgers on the corner. Listen, Isaiah Rodgers is already generating a lot of buzz in training camp. So I think that brother is locked in at the number 2 spot in terms of corners. And that's going to help that front seven. Dallas Turner is going to be the key to this thing, because you're talking about a guy that can stunt, come up the middle, come off the edge, drop back in coverage, do a lot of feint type things that Brian Flores likes to do. If there's another front seven out there that has that resume, that has the personnel that the Minnesota Vikings have, let me know who it is. I can think of people that people are going to try to mention. The Denver Broncos, pretty damn good. I don't put them in the category of the Minnesota Vikings. Barring injury, man, the Minnesota Vikings front seven is going to be legit. And I'm just happy that they're getting their flowers from this whole thing. Sharp football analysis. Kudos to you, because I see the same thing, man. I just don't see another front seven that's as good as the Minnesota Vikings. Now, in terms of ratings and measurables, will they end up number 1? Well, that just remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. But I guarantee you right now, they're going to be top 5, and they're going to be strong top 5. They're going to be top 5, and they won't be 5. Our front seven is the type of front seven that can lead us to long runs and give us an opportunity to start knocking on the door of a Super Bowl appearance. It's what you need. It's not the only thing that you need. It's what you need. And usually when teams bring out a front seven like the Minnesota Vikings are going to bring out for the 2025 season, man, great things can happen. It should mean utter fear for the rest of the NFL. And let me tell you this, on the offensive side of the ball, don't let J.J. McCarthy hit a lot sooner than people think he's going to hit. That's going to make things even more devastating for the NFC North, the NFC, and the whole NFL, people. The whole NFL. Minnesota Vikings, number 1 front seven in the league. I like that. That sounds good to my ears. This has been Unconventional Playbook. Please take the time to hit that like and subscribe button. It only takes a minute. Just look down there right now. Hit that like button, and we will make sure to continue to pump out the content that you want us to pump out. This has been Unconventional Playbook, and we'll make sure to see you when we see you. Skol!